Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another podcast, Chandie Speaks Podcast. It's me. I'm here again. I almost didn't even want to record this podcast today because I'm kind of in a funk right now. So this, I don't know. I'm going to try and keep my funky feelings at bay, but it is what it is. I committed to recording these once a week, so here I am. It's to whoever's listening, literally, there's I got 3 new followers in the last week. And yeah, I'm learning that it's most people nowadays people like to binge watch things, so yeah, I'm just, I don't know, guessing that maybe most of my future listeners will finally gather and catch on after the 10th episode. So anyway, I'm just doing this because that's what I committed to. It's fucking hot here in Gwinnett County, Georgia. We had a bunch of rain going on this past week. Bunch of rain. It's been very humid and hot. It's Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. I'm here parked at the Walmart here in Gwinnett County, Georgia. We're just living our best life. Walmarts are always just weird. I don't like vibing at Walmarts. I pulled up. I've been hanging out here. I went in there and got some shopping done. Because this is America. Pulled up and I'm seeing homeless people walking around the parking lot, aimlessly wandering, and I'm like, I don't belong here. I'm technically homeless, but I live in my van. I'm kind of incognito mode right now. It looks just like a work van, and no one fucks with me. I don't like being fucked with. So when I pull up to these kind of places where, the hobo crows like to gather, I just instantly feel like I'm sticking out, because I'm not with that. I'm not with that vibe. Putting myself out there. Because I'm just opening. I don't want to open myself up to being harassed by the police. Walmart used to be a safe place to park, but now it's just because of just the way people are. People don't know how to act. Now, I can't pull up, really at a Walmart or even, a Home Depot without, a cop car strolling through the parking lot. Okay, so here's the thing about cop cars. And you know what? Let's just go into it, because I wanted to talk about this. But I think that was a good segue, right? The thing with police is there's, a code for it. There's a code that sort of makes them sort of appear. Spawning. They just start spawning out of nowhere because of this code. And it's a very easy code. Believe it or not, the best way to not have cops pop up around you or spawn in your area is to not do anything illegal. That's the code. And I know it seems simple enough, because people are like, what? I don't do anything illegal and I still see cops. Yeah, but you're not paranoid about seeing the police officer because you're not doing anything illegal. The paranoia is what sort of attracts them. So there's someone around you with that energy, or maybe just you have a little bit of fucking energy. I used to carry that paranoia energy even though I wasn't doing anything wrong, just because I used to believe that being melanated, being a black person in America, was illegal. That's what everyone told me. Everyone basically told me all my life that you can't be a melanated person in America. So I'm thinking, even if I'm just skippity-doo-dah, minding my own business, walking down the street, and if a cop shows up, I start acting paranoid because I'm melanated, and now that made more police officers show up, or that made that officer want to come and talk to me. And now I'm getting even, stressed out, and and they're feeding off them. They're like, what? Why are you so stressed out and stuff? Well, it's kind of like what you told me. You told everybody that being black was illegal and that you don't even have to be doing anything. And it has nothing to do with that. It's the paranoia that sort of attracts them. Because if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be paranoid about anything. Period. And once I realized that, then literally I remember going months without even seeing a cop car. Not like driving near me or around me or creeping behind me in a parking lot or on the street, anywhere. I remember going months without seeing a cop car ever, let alone being harassed by police officers. As soon as I realized that, hey, it's actually the whole, it's not that you're melanated that's illegal. It's the fact that you're doing illegal things. So stop doing illegal things. Stop doing things that's wrong, and then you won't carry that paranoia. That's the code. That's the code. I picked that up on that when I first moved to Georgia. I drove to Georgia in 2023 from Chicago. Okay, Chicago, there is also a code for specifically the Chicago Police Department. I know I sound like one of those tripped out conspiracy theories, man. But there is a code. I've studied this. I was born and raised in Chicago. I was leaving Chicago. I had just gotten to Chicago. I was there for like a week, maybe. I actually had a family member pass away. We're coming up on the anniversary of that. It was like around this time, actually, in 2023. And I drove from Chicago. And I got to when I first got to Chicago, I started noticing the code and how, I don't know, their police department in Chicago is really corrupt. It's actually corrupt. Most people who will go to jail in Chicago will be like wrongfully accused, wrongfully incarcerated. That's corrupt. So I had to get the fuck up out of there. I was in and out for like a week, and during that whole week, I didn't drive anywhere. I didn't go anywhere, but I noticed it. It's there. It's like magnified. That paranoia is magnified. I don't know what it is. They're just trying to keep Chicago down, or they must get some kind of bonus or something. I don't know how these cops make a living, just wrongfully incarcerating people. I don't get it. So I was driving from Chicago to Georgia, and when I got to Georgia, how did I get up on this? Well, I did a little history of the county I was in, Forsyth County, Georgia, where, long story totally short, it used to be a sundown town. Basically, for all you young folk or people who don't know history, a sundown town in America was basically when, back in the day, if the sun went down and you were melanated or black, you had to get the fuck out of town. You couldn't be there. They would chase you out of town. It was illegal to be black after sundown in Forsyth County, Georgia, and parts of Forsyth County, Georgia. And that's where I landed when I first went to Georgia, not knowing anything about this. I thought it was like something that happened in movies. I never really experienced real, true Southern, old-timey American racism, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was fed to me all my life. Everyone in the North, everyone where I've been, they've told me horror stories of how it is in the South. And I was like, oh, haha, that's funny. No way people are still that ignorant. And then they're really not. When I came down here, I know I'm sounding biased or whatever, but I had to come down here and see it for myself. That, yeah, it used to be a sundown town, just like, slavery used to be. People are allowed to change, countries and people are allowed to change their views. So it used to be a sundown town, but they're not anymore. You can be any race you want under the sun here in Georgia. It used to be very, giving very Klan-esque vibes, but since I've been here, no, I physically haven't seen anyone be outwardly full-blown stereotypically racist out here. But when I first moved out here, because I was feeding off of the paranoia that I carried from Chicago. I literally left Chicago. I was born and raised there, and I had to get the fuck out of town. I just felt the thick corruption in the air. And I basically drove in from Chicago, and I still had that paranoia with me. So once I learned about it after I got here, I was like, wait a minute, why am I paranoid? I like sort of transcended it a little bit. I sort of asked myself these important questions, like, what does this even mean? And it was like a veil that just sort of lifted. And to this day, I've not been bothered by a single police officer. Wrongfully, let's just say that. Even in my entire life, once I looked back and looked at it, a police officer has never actually bugged me, talked to me, or fucked with me in any fucking way unless I was doing something wrong, unless I deserved it. Because I did get pulled over. I did run a red light. I ran a red light and I got pulled over right away. So, yeah. But I've never been bothered by any police officer for just minding my own business and not carrying any of that paranoia with me. And then, believe it or not, like, okay, so I transcended that. It was like a whole new world. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a black person. I'm a person. I'm melanated, and I'm just here, and I'm living in the freest country in the world. I'm blessed. And Georgia just sort of, shown a different light. It was shown a different light to me. Believe it or not, like, 2 weeks after I got here and decided that I'm not identifying as a black person, but a melanated person, I get into a car accident. It wasn't my fault. I know I've talked about this in other podcasts, but it wasn't my fault. Some 18-year-old bitch was doing an illegal U-turn, yada, yada, yada. It just so happened to be right in front of a police station in Forsyth County, Georgia. This girl, like, was doing improper lane change, hit my fucking semi-truck of a van with no insurance, and it was right in front of a police station. And I didn't even have to call the cops. They called the cops, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're on our way. We see you. We're right outside the police station." And I when I saw those blue lights, like, just a feeling of relief came over me. I was, like, so fucking happy because I didn't know anyone. When I moved to Georgia, I was, like, a fish out of water. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know where the fuck I was doing. This was before I even worked at the Waffle House. I was still working some just regular-ass pizza shop job. And I was just coming back from picking up my dog from daycare that day, going on my way to the Planet Fitness, and it happened, and I was so relieved when I saw those blue lights. Like, I know I did nothing wrong. I'm literally just a law-abiding citizen just trying to get from point A to point B at the end of the fucking day. And I was, like, stressing out because I had no one out there. I didn't have anything. Just got here. Like, 9 or 12 days before. When I saw those blue lights, I was so fucking happy. Not only did they helped me. They, like, got all of her information for me, and they sort of helped me pull my bumper out because my car was still drivable. She just sort of crimped it up on the it could have been worse. I'm, like, super fucking blessed. My dog was with me. Everything came crashing forward when I hit the brakes. Everything in my van just, like, flew. I have pictures up somewhere on my YouTube channel, but it was crazy. And the cops actually helped me, and from then on, I'm like, I literally have no problem. They're actually here to protect and serve. If you're not being a criminal, they're actually here to try and protect and serve. Unless you're in Chicago, then they're actually corrupt. I spent a long time talking about that, but yeah, the police code. So I'm sitting here in the Walmart, and you know what? Am I going to incriminate myself? Whatever. Y'all know where I'm at. It's really not that deep. I'm not a criminal. I got off work. I've been working. I've been really busy with this catering job and cooking and preparing food for hundreds of people. In the past week since my last podcast, hundreds of people. We had a 300-person wedding one day. We had a 250-person wedding one day. And, like, the minimum person wedding was 100 people, 130 people. And there was a wedding every day this week. Everybody was getting married this week. Bless all their souls, bless all their marriages. I got off work after preparing for those people, and it's only like Tuesday. So I have the rest of the week. You know, most people like getting married at the end of the week, I'm finding. But someone got married on a Monday. Someone got married yesterday on a Monday. And they tipped too, which is great. Really nice couple, really nice family. So I'm like, okay, well, let me do what I do and unwind. And I'm like trying to smoke a joint. And anyone who knows about Georgia, they're really cool except for that whole marijuana thing. Like the rest of the fucking country like is on board, but Georgia and a lot of other southern states are just like, no, we don't fuck with that. Actually, Alabama is more legal than Georgia is with medical recreational cannabis. And it's so crazy. And as soon as I fucking sparked the joint, man, I saw on the side of my mirror the fucking cop car just strolling by, probably just minding his own business, probably didn't smell it, right? Probably didn't smell it, you know. But, you know, my paranoia kicked in and I barely even got to even hit it. And I put it out and now I'm just here. I was like, damn, that shit is real. And it's like, I'll go like periods of time without smoking pot from Colorado. Okay. Colorado, they had like a pot shop on every corner. By the way, I'm going to, anyone who asked me in my last podcast, I actually have some questions to get to later. I am going to be in Colorado, a couple weeks from now, I said it in my last podcast, but yeah, a couple weeks I'll be in Colorado. But I'm used to it being on every corner out here and like the whole town smelling like fucking weed. And it's just like, whatever. It's just a different vibe. And now it's like the whole town smells like not weed. So anyone that smokes even a little bit of weed, everyone smells you everywhere you go. In enclosed spaces, in open spaces, in the rain, in the night. Like, I'm like, I wonder if the smell will get through the rain at night. Yeah, people can still smell it, bro. And that paranoid just, bless you. That paranoia just sort of, in my head, the code was like, okay, that's what sort of attracted that officer right there. I'm getting a little parched. Let me get a drink. So, yeah. Don't do illegal shit, then you won't be attracting cops to you. Don't have that paranoia. People, and that makes me think, like, people who get away with murder and get away with doing things, they must not carry they must be full-blown psychopaths, because they don't carry that paranoia with them to not get caught, or they carry just enough to just, for it to be missed off the radar. That's crazy. So, yeah, it'll be fun to get to Colorado to try and just reminisce of just going and smoking a joint while I'm taking a fucking hike. I'm like, man, that's one of my favorite pastimes, living in Colorado. I went on a 3.5 mile hike here the other day with my dog. We walked 3.5 miles. We passed a waterfall or some creek kind of deal. Went through, I don't know, a bunch of different, cutoffs and stuff. It was nice. We sat down, relaxed, 3.5 miles. And I was like, man, what'll be real good right now? Just a fucking joint. Just a joint. And I'll just continue with my walk. Those people, I mean, say what you want, but I know plenty of badass people who run up and down those stairs at Red Rocks, or they climb 14ers, they go snowboarding, they fucking jump off mountains, all while being high. You understand? All while being high. Some of them got degrees too. Not that means anything. But, damn. So, I don't know. Georgia's missing it. And I'll go like times, or maybe they're not missing it. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something. Maybe I need to cut back. And I have cut back. But goddamn, every time I light a little joint, I get like that little giggly little like school girl vibe. Where I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to fucking jail, man. I'm like, what is this, the 90s? This is 2025. I should be able to mind my own fucking business in a Walmart parking lot of all places. and just smoke a joint after I worked 12 hours. Please, sir, please, could you just let me smoke? Speaking of Colorado, I'm kind of like, I don't know, what's that word? Sort of longing for it right now. Homesick. Not really homesick, but I'm kind of longing for it a little bit. I ended up watching the whole special on YouTube of when Trey and Matt, I forgot their fucking last names, Parker or something, the creators of South Park. Apparently they were in Red Rocks a long time ago. I'm hella fucking late to the party. It was like 2022. Whatever year was the 25th anniversary, and they did like a whole like Red Rocks special with their songs, and that was cool. I think that was like the year after I left Colorado. So that was cool, and I watched all that on YouTube. They're cool. They've been in the game for a long time. Is that really all I got to talk about? Is what other fucking people are doing? Let's see. I talked about the police code. June 4th is tomorrow, so this podcast will be uploaded tomorrow. At some point once I finish editing. Like I said, I was hardly even in the mood for it. Just been feeling just tired from working, and just trying to mentally and spiritually prepare myself for this 1,000-mile journey to Colorado in a couple weeks. A lot of things I gotta get together before I leave. I gotta get a new battery. I still need to get a new battery for my car, and it's kind of bugging me out because every time I drive, like, the battery light will come on and then it'll come off sometimes, and it'll come on and it'll come off sometimes. And I'm kind of waiting for my first paycheck. I still haven't gotten paid from this new job yet. I'm kind of, if I can be just completely real and vulnerable, I don't have it. I can't get myself a new battery right now. So I've been kind of bugging out, not really in the mood to talk to you guys or anyone. Just kind of like suffer in silence, my whole MO. It's just kind of hard for me to bitch about a battery or what else, tire pressure, like, first world problems, or, when I know people who are in third world countries and who are actually struggling with real problems. So I don't know if that makes me, if that's like some kind of childhood trauma that's manifesting, why I just don't share my shit. Not too much. Like, I'm not really looking for sympathy or anything, but that is what it is. I didn't want to do this fucking podcast today because I'm kind of bumming out about getting myself ready to take 1,000 miles across the country, and I need a new battery. I wasn't expecting to pour another couple $100 into another battery, but that's what they're asking me. Apparently it's got to come from the moon or somewhere. NASA themselves built my $250 battery that you'll have to replace again in another 12 months. Oh, and then today also my ADS or ABS light came on, which I looked up was like an anti-lock braking system, anti-lock braking system. That came on, as well as the ESC light. Something with my brakes or my tire pressure or something. I have one of these smart cars, so it was trying to tell me something. It was like yelling at me, like beep, beep, beep. It was like yelling at me, you gotta check your tire pressure, your brakes, your blah, blah, blah. And then the battery light's like blinking on and off and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I can't risk fucking up this van before I take this long journey. So yeah, I'm parked at the Walmart for right now. Tried to have a smoke, got too paranoid about it. And now I'm here again. Not really in the mood to talk to you guys, but tomorrow is June 4th, which is the 9-year. It's the 9-year anniversary of my dad, my biological father, passing away. So can't really give a shout out to him because he's dead. But yeah, that's happening. I don't have anything planned. I have work. Normally what I do on the day that he passed away and then the day that he was born. His birthday is January No, I'm sorry. His birthday is December 31st. His birthday is New Year's Eve. So it's easy to, you know, celebrate the day he was born on New Year's Eve. But June 4th, it's like a week or so away from Father's Day. June is just kind of like one of those emotionally turbulent months for me because of my dad passing away, and as well as my other, my second dad, really my cousin, my dad's close friend, who just so happens to be my second cousin, who also passed away around this time in 2023, right before I left Chicago. So that's happening. So normally what I do is I light a candle. I got this candle. It's a rainbow candle. It's like dyed colored. It's like rainbow candle. I've had it since I moved into Vanlife. Actually, shout out to my sister, Cash Go Crazy. Shout out to my sister Cash, who actually, my first Christmas in this van, not this van, but doing van life full time in my last van when I got divorced and moved into my van, she sent me that candle in the mail, and I've had it every year. I burn it on my dad's birthday and on June 4th, which is tomorrow. So I'll be lighting that tomorrow. What else do I have? What else I don't know. I don't know how my dad passed away. I really don't. It's that's how sort of isolated we are family-wise. Everyone's kind of spread out or have passed on themselves, and really it doesn't really fucking matter. As long as he was alive, he was a good dad to me, and I love him. I love you, Dad. I think that's it. Okay, let's get into some questions. It's only been 30 minutes. We're coming up. We're coming up on it. I got one question from YouTube from my longtime subscriber. Where is it? I gotta find it. The hell did she say? It wasn't even a question. She was asking. She recently saw my Van Life Diaries episode 254 when I was in Guyana, the third day on my vacation. The episode's called Socio-Political Analysis. And I was in the episode, go ahead and watch it. It's episode 254. I was talking about how there wasn't anything to do in Guyana if you're a single person, because everything that I wanted to do out there, I needed to book for 2 people. And it was really frustrating, because I for like the first few days, I literally sat in the Airbnb kind of going through it, trying to figure out what the fuck am I supposed to do out here, because I couldn't book anything unless and I'm a solo traveler. So I didn't do my research before I went out there, and I was just kind of butthurt about it. And her question was, what would happen if you booked for a couple of what did she say? I was thinking, what would happen if you booked for a couple for the events and showed up alone? What would they do? And that's what I was saying. Like, what are they really gonna do? But at the same time, it's like, I don't got money like that. It's obviously priced for 2 people. They had an event out there. I forgot what it was. It was like the cruise, one of these cruises. Because they had a lot of companies out there doing the same shit. But one of the companies were like charging me $200 for 2 people to go on this sunset cruise, but $220 for 1 person. They charged me $20 more to book for just myself, which I thought was wild. I'm like, I'm just going to book for 2 people and give someone $20 or just show up by myself for $20 cheaper. Like, what are you guys really going to do? I could have done that for a few things, but I'm like, no. There was this other thing that had like it was like a dinner in some kind of garden with like a singing chef or something. I didn't end up doing it. They had sort of mixed or lower reviews. I didn't end up doing it, but I almost considered doing it, and that would have cost me $160 paying for 2 people just for a dinner. So no. So that was from Renee from my YouTube. Thank you, Renee, for being a long subscriber. Commenting again. Ask me anything. I'm just here. I mostly respond. I mostly respond to you. I have a couple emails, but mostly I'll respond this way. And it's all anonymous. I got some anonymous questions here. This is crazy. It's literally anonymous. I don't know who it's from, but I'm assuming that it's from a girl. Okay. This is from anonymous. It was from like Saturday, a couple days ago. They write, bless their hearts, first of all. Bless their hearts. No judgments here. Kinda. How would you feel? This is what they wrote. How would you feel if someone you've been talking to / friends with benefiting with for a year leaves you on red after you told them you wouldn't be able to see them next weekend because you have an emergency that's going to cost you a fortune? Mind you, when I first met this guy, I told him I didn't want anything serious. Fast forward to about a year later, he proposes to me in the middle of sex, and all I say is maybe. He asked me about 5 times, and I kept saying maybe. To this day, he still makes marriage jokes and calls me his wife. Okay, I did respond to this anonymous person, but I'm also going to go into depth here in case you're listening, anonymous listener. Because really, you asked a question, and then you kind of sidetracked. The question was sort of irrelevant, partially irrelevant. You're just sort of filling in information with irrelevant filling in space with irrelevant information. The question was, how would you feel if someone you've been talking to or friends with benefiting with for a year leaves you on red after you told them you wouldn't be able to see them next weekend because you have an emergency that's going to cost you a fortune? That part is like the irrelevant part. It doesn't matter what, So we're going to get into what I told her or them. I'm assuming it's a girl. And this is judgment free, like I said. I said, the guy is leaving you on red because you are making yourself easily accessible to him. He knows that whenever he messages you, you will respond. What you need to do is decide what is the purpose of this relationship. You say friends with benefits, but then you get upset when he leaves you on red. If you want to be in a relationship with him or for him to marry you, then you need to be clear with him about your intentions. But if all you're doing is hanging out whenever you have sex, then that's what it will be. A man has no problem using a woman for sex if she allows him to. He knows you feel some type of way about him because women have a hard time separating sex from emotions. So he tells you things that you want to hear and calls you his wife because you give him your time, energy, and your body if he does. I really hope this helps. And that's, yep, I basically, I was on one when I wrote that, but it's the truth. It's really the truth. The guy's leaving you on red because you keep messaging him. He knows that as soon as he messages you, you're going to just jump all over it. I don't even really need to elaborate that. I think I was very clear and to the point. I feel for this girl. I feel for anyone who's still in the delusion that there's going to be some man there to save you from yourself. No one's going to save you from yourself. You gotta be able to save yourself. So if you feel some type of way about a guy, then tell him that you feel some type of way. Most likely, he'll tell you what you need to hear, but you might actually run across one of the good ones who will just be honest with you and tell you the truth. Like, hey, I like you, you're cool and all, but all I really want to do is just fucking stick my dick inside of you. Or maybe they want to, like, I don't know, carry on some illusion with you or whatever. But you got to be clear about it, because if not, then in their eyes, as long as you talk to them, as long as you keep texting them and responding to them, there's a possibility that you will give up your body, your time, your space, your energy. Just deny full access to him. You either like that he leaves you on red, so you keep texting him, or you don't like that he leaves you on red because you feel some type of way, but he doesn't feel the same way back, and then you need to sort of accept that, baby girl. And move on. I think that was a good one. I'm gonna get into like maybe one more. There was a few. Some of them were kind of like dumb and inappropriate. I'm not reading the full-blown dumb ones, but some of them I'm like, I feel like they were really wanting some an honest, unbiased opinion. If you need any honest, unbiased opinion, go ahead and email me ChandieSpeaks@gmail.com. That's ChandieSpeaks@gmail.com. I'm literally going to wrap this thing up. I'm going to read a couple more questions here. I have to like sift through a lot of bullshit, really, to get to some good questions. This one person, also, this is all anonymous, but this one person asked how to get rid of a numb feeling in my heart and chest. And I just want to remind everyone, I'm not a trained professional. Please seek some professional help. This is mostly just for good vibes, or, just giving my honest opinion. Essentially, I'm a no one to you. I don't have any legal training or professional training. Get some professional help. But I did respond to this person anonymously. Well, they asked anonymously, and I responded to them. How to get rid of a numb feeling in my heart and chest? I said, breathe. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Keep doing it until you feel it in your crown. Cry it out. Let yourself just cry it all out. Your body needs to release something. Just breathe and cry it out and drink plenty of water. I really hope this helps. That's the best I can do. That's what I would have wanted something, like I said, not the best medical professional advice, but that's what I would have wanted someone to tell me when I had that feeling in my heart and my chest. Like, you are holding on to something and you just need to let it go. It's okay. Just that you're recognizing this feeling. You know it's there. You just identified it. Just keep breathing. Don't forget that you have to keep breathing. You have to keep living and just release it all. Drink some water to replenish all that you're releasing, okay? I go through drugs of fucking water. I cry every day. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I cry every single day. I have to release. I have to take in the good with the bad. Every single day. Oh, if that wasn't sappy enough, right? I'm praying for you guys. Get some professional help. Let me get one more question here, and then we're probably going to call it good. A lot of these are from women, but I want to see if I can find one. They're anonymous, but I can feel if it's from a guy or if they identify as a guy or a girl. Let me see. I'm gonna end it on this. Sounds like it's coming from a guy. Anonymous writes, if she's active on social media, but leaving me undelivered and doesn't let me go through her phone, that's a red flag, right? She says, I have, quote, trust issues, but she literally lies about going to sleep. Then I see her snap score going up and stuff. When I call her out, she just says I'm being weird for, quote, stalking her. But, like, she literally gives me every reason to distrust her, like texting her exes and stuff like that. She would say, quote, I'm going to bed. Then I'd see her active on Snap with an increasing Snap score. Get a life, buddy. What did I write to this guy? Get a fucking life is what I should have wrote. Keeping tabs on this woman. I think I definitely kind of went off on this guy. Let me see. I said, first of all, bless his heart in the most respectful way. But I said, you need to figure out what makes you want to keep tabs on a human being that you're not married to or financially supporting in the first place. She has every right to do whatever she wants to do because she is the leader of her own life. If you took more time to lead your own life, you wouldn't be concerned with whatever it is that she's doing. You would naturally lose interest in her extracurricular activities if you had your own extracurricular activities. She's doing this likely because she doesn't take you seriously or respect you as a man. Something about you is causing her to not respect you or take you seriously. I really hope this helps. I really could have went in on this, but yeah, that's so fucking gay in the worst fucking way. Like, who are you? Who does that? She tells me she's going to bed. What does he say? He's been seeing her, but it won't let me look through her phone. And I see her Snap score going up after she tells me to go in. To me, that means she's not talking to you now. She's going to bed and it's good night to you, sir. Doesn't mean it's good night for her. And that's her own right. What the fuck? Who are you? Her dad? You're not her husband, and you're not financially supporting her. And unfortunately, that's the game right there. A woman's not going to listen to a man who's not in any way enriching her life, leading her life in any way. She's already leading her own life. Perfectly fine until your wet blanket ass came and tried to ruin the fun for her. You'd have a better time and an easier time if you just worried about yourself. In the most respectful way. Respectfully, son. I don't know how old these people are, but it was anonymous. Bless their hearts. But that's my podcast for the week. That's what I got. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week.